الله الحينا ويهاو باشم يهاو شاه ماشيا وملاكي باشم هاو وقتاكوراش وقتام دوارا باب بابا قوم يا شباب. Of honest the apostles, elders, and bishops of great millstone teachers daily. To the men out there teaching the likewise doctrine, city Shalom. Today we're gonna get into how Esau is admitting basically how he's the devil. Now we got a banker. I got a video of a banker. It's a short video, and he basically admitting to all the wickedness they've been doing in the earth and what they plan on doing. So let's get a couple scriptures first before we bring it out. This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked, cover the faces of the judges thereof, if not where who is he? The earth was given to the hand of the wicked to punish us. That's why they get to do whatever they do. Like the scriptures say, rather paraphrasing, they are not troubles other men. That's the reason. Now let's get a couple more. Let's go to 1 Timothy. I'm waiting on the book. Okay. 1 Timothy in chapter 6. And it says, I want y'all to remember this verse. It says, perverse disputings. Well, let's go up a little bit. We can start at verse 4. He is proud, knowing nothing that pride, but doubting about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, evil surmises. Verse 5. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. That's Esau's whole thing right there. He think the more stuff he steal, the more godly he would be. But he's not godly. He's carnal. You know, he's not spiritual at all. If he can't see it, smell it, taste it, touch it, he don't believe it exists. So he thinks the more stuff he steal, it'll put him in a godlike state according to other people because he wants people to worship him. It says, I'm gonna get it again. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 5. Perverse disputings of corrupt minds, of perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. Now let's get the video. I want y'all to see what I'm talking
Hello. My name is Montague William III, and what I will tell you may well sound absurd, but the less who believe it, the better for me. For you see, I'm in banking and a big industry. For many a year we have controlled your lives, while you all just struggle and suffer in strife.
See? Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth was given to the hand of the wicked. He admitting it all right now.
We created the things that you don't really need, your sports cars and fashions and plasma TVs.
All of these things were created as distractions to distract from what they're really doing.
I remember it clearly how all this begun. Family secrets from father to son, inherited knowledge that gives me the edge, while you peasant people lie sleeping at night in your beds. We control the money that controls your lives, whilst you worship false idols and wouldn't think twice about selling your souls for a place in the sun.
There's Jake Paul. He literally sells his soul. He sells his integrity. He sells his manhood just to get a piece of the devil's pie.
These things that won't matter when your time is done. But as long as they're there to control the masses, I just sit back and consider my assets.
See, he sit back and consider his assets. He thinks gain is next to godliness, which is not true. So let's get Habakkuk. We can come out of this for a minute. Let's get Habakkuk, chapter 2. And we go down to verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establishes a city by iniquity. Now all these cities all this land they stole, it was all iniquity. They never built the city or gained the city by righteous means. Now let's get Matthew, chapter 19. And we go into verse 23. And this is the red letter, so this is Yahushua speaking. This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 23. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. And let's get it again, verse 24. Red letter, so this is Lord Yahushua speaking. And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of Yahweh. So all you money worshipers out there who just can't let go of your plasma TV and all this useless, all these useless possessions that you can't let go of, you ain't gonna make no, because you ain't gonna want to let this stuff go that you accumulate. Now let's go to Psalms chapter 64. We go into verse 8. Psalm chapter 64, verse 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, all that see them shall flee away. Yeah, they telling on each other, man. They basically revealing all their secrets. You know why they're doing it? Because of pride. They don't think they're gonna fall. They don't think they think they're gonna be in this position forever. Let me get a scripture on that. This is Psalm chapter 49, verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations, and they call their lands by their own names. Now he just said it. He just admitted about the secrets passed down from father to son that gives him the edge. Yes, in the scripture. Their dwelling places to all generations. Meaning they think they're just gonna pass down their wickedness and all the possessions that they've stolen to their children because they think they're gonna be here forever. They think they're gonna be in rulership forever. Now, but as the book of Obadiah says, that's not true. Let's go to the book of Obadiah. And we're going down to verse 15. Oh, we get 10 right here. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 10, where we go to verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. He said it twice. Now let's go down to 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heath. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Verse 16. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Meaning, everything you dished out, you gonna get it back. Verse 18. Well, let's go to 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Meaning everything you stole, we getting it back. Verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. So you gotta keep on bragging in your pride. See, that's the thing with Esau. See, the Lord has put so much pride in this man. It's gonna be detrimental to him. It's gonna be his downfall. Because one thing I noticed, especially in jobs I worked my whole life, Esau's pride, it trumps common sense and logic. His pride and his perpetual hatred, that comes first. That comes before common sense and logic. For example, Esau would rather put an unqualified Edomite in a high position than a qualified Jacob. And they can mess up as many times as they want to. Nothing will be said or done about it. But if Jake mess up, boom, oh, it's on. You getting rolled up, you getting fired, you getting suspended. I mean, all this madness. But let he might be in that same position, messing up even more. They're gonna turn a blind eye because their pride and their perpetual hatred for Jacob will not allow them to exercise common sense and logic in situations like that. I see it all the time. I don't say nothing, but I see it. Yeah, they'd rather have an unqualified Edomite. You know why? Because of that perpetual hatred for Jacob. If Jake happy, that's a problem. If Jake smiling, that's a problem. So Esau's whole end game is to keep you at the bottom. Now, if he really needs you, he might ask you to step up, depending on how bad he needs you and how good of an asset you are to a company. I see it all the time. I see unqualified Edomites in positions they ain't got no business being in. But you know how Esau get down. It ain't what you know, it's who you know. So let's go to grab my pocket real quick. Oh my God. Let's go to the book of Sirach real quick. And we're going to chapter 10, verse 8. Here we go. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Riches gotten by deceit. Did he not admit that in this video we just showed? Let me highlight this real quick. Yeah, that's why the kingdom gonna be translated from the Edomites back to the Israelites because it was ours from the beginning. We just messed up. But now we about to come out punishment. And guess who about to go? It's like friends. Guess who about to go into change? You Esau Edom, most proud. Now let's go to still in part Slocky. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 14, verse 7. Oh, we go to verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom shall he be good? Nobody. He shall not take pleasure in his goods. Verse 6. Ooh, that's good. There is none worse than he that envieth himself. How you jealous of yourself? That's some new shit right there. And this is a recompense of his wickedness. See, see how they just backstab each other. That's basically what this is saying. They have no loyalty. The only way you're gonna get my loyalty, you gotta give him some money. Let me get it again. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 14, verse 6. There is none worse than he that envieth himself. And this is a recompense of his wickedness. Verse 7. And if he do it good, he doeth it unwillingly. Told you. If he trying to offer you something, it's probably a bribe because he don't give you nothing that's beneficial for you. It's gonna be detrimental to you, beneficial to him. We get it again. Verse 7. And if he do it good, he do it unwillingly. And at the last, he would declare his wickedness. Verse 8. The envious man hath a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despiseth men. See, yeah, he's smiling all in your face, shaking hands and whatnot. But when he turns his back, he hates you. It's Esau Edom. Now let's go to chapter 13, verse 6. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope and will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? See, trying to bribe, trying to get on your good side, trying to let your guard down so he can stab you in the back. Now let's go to Proverbs chapter 23. This is Proverbs chapter 23, verse 6. Eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. That's the stuff he gonna bribe you. Verse 7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. So he's trying to gain your trust. They don't call this man the serpent for nothing. Let's go to verse 26. And we're gonna go down. We're still in Proverbs on chapter 26, verse 9. This ain't it. But we can go to Deuteronomy. Chapter 32. And we're gonna go down to verse 28. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. See, they're unfit to rule. They wasn't created to rule. They were created to do wickedness. That's why they're a board of counsel without understanding. Only the Israelites were given the breath of life, meaning the understanding of things. See, Esau, he is he promotes a death style to people, not a lifestyle. That's why the laws were given to the Israelites to bring forth life. Esau is the exact opposite. He promotes everything in his kingdom. It's gonna bring forth your death. He doesn't promote anything righteous because he's created to be the wicked. Now let's go to Romans chapter 1. And we're gonna go down to verses 31, 32. Mm. We can start at 28. And even as they did not like to retain Yahweh in their knowledge, Yahweh gave them over to a reprobate mind to do things which are not convenient. Now, this is talking about Israelites, but you can apply this scripture to the wicked because of the fact that Edomites, they are natural pedophiles and sodomites. So, yeah, the Lord gave them over to reprobate minds, which means reject. Check this out. See if this is not an accurate description of Esau. Verse 29, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, that are not an accurate description of Esau. Verse 30, backbiters, haters of Yahweh, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents. Verse 31, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affliction, implacable, unmerciful. Verse 32, who knowing the judgment of Yahweh, that they which commit such things are worthy of death. Not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. Were those not accurate descriptions of Esau? Yeah, he's created to be this. You can't rehabilitate Esau, just like there's no such thing as free will. Because if there was free will, Esau, stop stealing, stop lying, stop murdering. You can't, because you are sealed to be the wicked. That's why. That's why they so proud. You saw Buddy on the video. I'm gonna play it again at the end. But you saw how proud he was just sitting there. Now let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter, what is that? 35. We're gonna go to this is Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Oh, let me get number 3, verse 3 first. We start at 1. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, verse 2, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Mount Seir and Mount Petra, those were the places where the Edomites dwelled. That's why I said, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Remember, you are a people before you are a place. Verse 3, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Verse 4, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had end. Verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Verse 7. Thus I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and I will cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. So yeah, Lord got it in for you, Edomites. Now let's go to Psalms. Chapter 73, and we're going to go down to verse 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Now let's go to the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds when the morning is light, and practice it, because it is in the power of their hands. Esau, Edom, verse 2. And they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, a man in his heritage. That's Esau, Edom. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, chapter 8. This is one of the reasons why they're so proud. Verse 11. Because sinners against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Verse 12. Though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with him that fear Yahweh, which fear before him. Verse 13. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, draw his shadow, because he fear not Yahweh. This man wants to be Yahweh. Matter of fact, let's go to 2 Thessalonians. And we're going to chapter 2. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Perdition means chaos, anarchy. That's what this man wants to bring forth. Order out of chaos? Yeah. He wanted to throw the world in such of a hell that he created that he's going to come forth with the solution, which is that MOTB in your hand. And it's all to lead to this, verse 4. Who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called Yahweh, for that is worship, so that he as Yahweh sitteth in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is Yahweh. Now he wants to sit in the temple of Yahweh. Where's the temple of Yahweh? The Israelites. It's not a building, it's a people. We are the temple. That's why he wants to get inside you with a chip, a brain chip, all this bullshit to control you, because he wants to be the most high. But little does he know he's about to be the most low, because he's going into slavery. They don't call this man the base man for nothing. He is the bottom of the barrel. He's the dregs of the cup as far as humans, because you have to have hue to be a human, which means pigment, color. The Lord made this man leprous so he could be identified as the wicked. Leprous, no pigment. His blood showeth forth through his skin. All right. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 7. The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them, because they refuse to do judgment, righteous judgment. Psalm chapter 137, verse 8. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee, as thou hast served us. Verse 9, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Remember alligator bait? How about cutting up the pregnant Israelite woman just like this so that the baby falls out the belly and they stomp it to death for shits and giggles? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sirach chapter 14, verse 8. The envious man hath a wicked eye, turneth away his face, and despiseth men. Yeah, he smiled in your face, but he hates everybody. He even hates his own. So all you so-called black people, if this man hates his own people, what makes you think he gonna love you? Verse 9, the covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 29. The people of the land have used oppression and exercised robbery and have vexed the poor and needy. Yeah, they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully. They don't care. These people make, break, bend, ignore their own laws and rules just to forward wickedness. Job chapter 15, verse 35. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity. Their belly prepareth mischief. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Ain't nobody rejoicing right now. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou greatly despised. And we can get a couple more, we can close it out. Because, I mean, the point of this video was basically to take that confession that this man just made to help y'all understand, to establish who's the wicked in the earth. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 9, because thou hast had spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood and of all that dwell therein. Spoil means rob. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10, and that favor be shown to the wicked. Yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. Let's see, get a couple more. Psalm chapter 73, verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Sirach chapter 41, verse 8. Woe be unto you, ungodly men, which have forsaken the law of the Most High Yahweh. For if ye increase, it shall be to your destruction. Psalm chapter 73, verse 8. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. I think that's all I got, y'all. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 17. He that is angry dealeth foolishly, and the man of wicked devices is hated. All these laws in place to keep you at the bottom and them on the top, those are unrighteous decrees, wicked devices. See, here you go right here. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and write grievousness which they prescribe. Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy also shall he cause craft to prosper in his hand. He shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. And he shall stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without end. Meaning this fool will try to fight the Lord. And the Lord gonna break him. Okay, that's all I got. Well, I'm gonna leave y'all with this scripture because it's one of my favorites. Because of the fact that regardless of what Esau does, regardless of what he says, regardless of who he murders, this man's still going to change. It ain't nothing he can do about it. It ain't nothing he can do to change that verdict because it's already written. So he gonna cry, he gonna bite, he gonna scratch, he gonna kick. Because Esau always been a bitch since Genesis. Crying. So that's not gonna change. Here it is. Psalm chapter 73, verse 17. Until I went to the sanctuary of Yahweh, then understood I their end. Meaning, if you fully understand these scriptures and who's who in the Bible, you understand regardless of what I just told you, regardless of what Esau does and says and murders and steals, regardless of what he does, he's still gonna end up with them chains. His path has already been decided because it was written. When the king speaks, there's power, roughly paraphrasing the scripture. So yeah, let him do all his wickedness, let him go on one last hoorah before them cages and chains catch his ass. Then he gonna be the first on the first two-legged beast in cages, so that the animals of the planet can see the real monster. And before we close, we're gonna get this video again. So I want y'all to see it. I want it to stick in your head.
Hello. My name is Montague William III, and what I will tell you may well sound absurd, but the less who believe it, the better for me. For you see, I'm in banking and a big industry. For many a year we have controlled your lives, while you all just struggle and suffer in strife. We created the things that you don't really need, your sports cars and fashions and plasma TVs. I remember it clearly how all this begun. Family secrets from father to son, inherited knowledge that gives me the edge, while you peasant people lie sleeping at night in your beds. We control the money that controls your lives, whilst you worship false idols and wouldn't think twice about selling your souls for a place in the sun. These things that won't matter when your time is done. But as long as they're there to control the masses, I just sit back and consider my assets.
Now you see why the scriptures say there'll be no mercy for Esau either, because he shows no mercy, roughly paraphrasing the scripture. And when you are done with your death row sentence of 1,000 years and your 1,000 years of captivity, hardcore slavery, you're gonna be rounded up and executed, homie. Nobody gonna miss your punk ass, not even your call on Lala, how you now your house, by Shin Yahweh Shah, Mashiach, while Malaki, by Shin Hawa Waka, Kakura, Rock, Thumb, water by the ball, from your